are currently standing outside Walmart, and no, we have not teleported all the way over to America. We are still here in China. I bet you didn't know they had Walmart in China, but we are going to go inside, have a look how much weekly shopping costs here in China and compare it to goods back in Asda in the UK, which is also part of the Walmart family.
Now, everyone around the world is well aware by now that prices in China are a lot cheaper. But we know this for products such as clothes, shoes, electronics. There's not much about how much goods cost inside supermarkets such as food, alcohol, all these kind of things. So we've got a nice list of everyday goods that people are going to need to get every single week. So take a guess right now, who's going to win this? Is it Walmart in China or Asda in the UK? Now, before we even get in and look at any products and compare anything, let's look at Chinese alcohol. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at all these lovely bottles. £80, £100. Look at them. Look at this one, 53 quid. That's unreal. It's honestly like a designer boutique in here. Look, they come in these beautiful display boxes. I wonder if these ones are even tea or something, I'm not sure. Shannon, this just makes you want to spend your money in here, doesn't it?
I know, they look like collectibles. You don't even want to drink them. They're so colourful and bright, and the way they're all displayed here is incredible. All the Chinese writing as well. Well, first of all, the layout is very different to supermarkets you get in the UK. When you first come in the door, usually you have like fresh produce, vegetables and fruit, but we're straight into the dairy section, which isn't something that's very popular in China. Yeah, they more drink like soya milk, so I don't really know if there's like cheese or, yeah, there's cow milk here as well. Let's see how much this is, Alan.
Right, so just under a litre of cow's milk in China is going to cost you 93 pence. Now, for the same size milk in Asda in the UK, it's going to cost you £1.20, so £11.64. So China is a tiny bit cheaper on that one.
Sticking with the dairy section, we have got Yakult, something that you would take back home if you're trying to get healthy, get the immune system back up in the winter. So we've got 5 Yakult here, which is going to cost you just over 11 RMB, so about £1.20, and for the exact same product in Asda in the UK, it is going to cost you £3.70, so that's going to be 3 times the price for the exact same product. Wow. Just as we're walking around, we're seeing sort of deals which we would not see back in the UK. So there's a lot of products, like if you buy a bigger set, you'll get like a couple free. The same here with this yogurt here. And they've also got similar here for the juice. So if you buy a big carton of orange juice, you also get a blueberry juice for free. So that's pretty amazing. We don't really get deals like that. It's more like buy one get one free, or buy 2 get 1 free. I don't even know if they still do deals like that. It's been a while since me and Alan have been doing a weekly shop in the UK.
Well, no fridge is complete without cheese. Take a look at this one. 42 RMB, which is about £4.30, and for the same one in Asda, you're going to pay £2.50, actually half the price in the UK as you are for this same bag of cheese in China. But that is where there's a bit of a cultural difference. This part of the world does not eat cheese at all, just not in their diet. They don't really put it on their foods. Us in the UK could find a way to put cheese in anything, in pastas, and whatever you could think. Totally different here, which is maybe why the prices of these cheese is a lot higher. And as you'll see, this is a selection of cheese. Look, they've literally got 3 different types of mozzarella cheese and a few slices of plastic cheese. That's it. If we were in Asda right now, you would have this entire wall full of different types of cheeses, but not here in China. We're
starting to see some differences now. We would not get this sort of things in the supermarket. You would have to go to very large supermarkets to get Asian or Middle Eastern sort of dishes, but there's so many. I think we're in the sort of Korean section. This looks like kimchi. We've got all your pickled veg, fresh noodles, which look fantastic, and then you've got these ready-made Hong Kong noodles and ramen as well. So yeah, there's lots of different things here that we have never saw in the UK.
But Shannon, as you were saying, there's lots of things in this fridge that we haven't seen before. We have these a lot in our houses in the UK. Now these ones are 13.50 RMB, and let me tell you, these cost the exact same price for the exact same packet. That's the first one that's even. Same brand, same packet, same size. There's about 3 pence of a difference. Fair dues.
Well, a firm favourite for my breakfast when I'm back at home is a roll and bacon, and I'm quite surprised to see this here. It doesn't really look like the bacon that we have back home. It is the bacon rasher, the more American style, but this is a massive packet, 500 grams of bacon for £2, and for the exact same size in Asda it's going to cost you double, £4, which is pretty mad considering they don't even eat bacon here.
Now, since we just checked out the price of bacon, which we eat more than China, let's keep it fair and give something that they eat a lot more here in Asia. Dumplings. Now these are a pack of frozen dumplings, and these are going to set you back £2. For a packet half the size of these in Asda, it's going to cost you 2.5 times as much, £4.50 for a bag half the size in Asda, which is actually pretty crazy because there's pretty much nothing in dumplings. It's just sort of a tiny bit of pastry filled with meat or vegetables. There's not really much to it for it to cost £4.50 for a tiny little bag of them. There is one thing in China which terrifies me every single time we come back into this country. Starbucks have a cheese latte. Can you tell me, is anyone that's watching this video a regular drinker of a cheese latte? If so, explain why. What does this taste like? I have no intentions of ever finding out. I think we'll leave that one there. While we're in the aisle of the drinks, let's check this out. And I think this is where the prices will start to get a little bit shocking as we go into the drinks, because before we start looking at fizzy drinks, please be aware that the UK has a thing called sugar tax. So we have to pay extra tax to drink full fat Pepsi and full fat Coke. Utterly ridiculous, but let's check it out. I know for a fact they don't have such ridiculous made up taxes here in China, so I think China's going to start to put their foot down and run away here. Now for a multi-pack of Coca-Cola full fat Coke,
12 cans.
12 cans, £24.99, £2.50. Now sit on your seat. Sharon, please tell us the price of this in Asda.
I can't say it out loud. I don't want to go back home in a few weeks. £8.25. 80 RMB.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And that is pretty substandard for this entire drinks aisle. But I'll say one thing, China's fizzy juice drinks seem to be dramatically cheaper than anywhere else in the world. I mean, look at these, 30 pence for a bottle of Pepsi. You're going to pay about £2 for that in the UK at least. Coca-Cola, 35 pence. Look at these, so cheap. But if you think that's bad, wait till you see what is round this corner. Alcohol. Another thing, alcohol in the UK, particularly spirits, is taxed at 70%, not 17, 70. Let's try and find ourselves some Scottish whisky and see if we can get Scottish whisky for a better price in Scotland where it's distilled, or if you're going to have to fly all the way to East Asia to get yourself a bottle of whisky for a good price.
Dalmore Highland single malt Scottish whisky, 539 RMB. Let's check how much that's going to be back in Scotland where it's brewed.
Now, they do not sell this brand of whisky in Asda. This is a wee bit higher level for a British supermarket, but 539, so 53, 54 pounds. Now we've had to find the official website in the UK who sell it for 72 pounds. So it's quite a substantial drop here in China, but let's take a look at a few different ones. Now, being from Scotland, you might be surprised to hear that we don't drink whiskey. We absolutely hate it, in fact, but there's something that we drink very regularly. Shannon, pick it up.
Well, our go-to drink back home has to be Captain Morgan's Spice Rum. This will set you back 69 RMB in China, so £7. £7 for a 70 of rum. I already know who's going to win. Alan, please tell me how much that's going to cost me back home.
Back home in Asda, that's going to cost you £17.
Wow.
So we are over half the price. Sorry, we're under half price here in China. So more than 50% of a price drop in China for the exact same thing. And there's an even more shocking one here. Look at this. Absolute Vodka, 70cl, 99.90, and in the UK that's going to cost you over £20. Again, over half the price cheaper. For the same thing, it probably comes out the same factory. Maybe they're brewed under licence here, I don't know. Bloody hell. Sky Vodka. Sky Vodka's down at the bottom. This is actually seen as a really premium vodka. Comes in the nice fancy blue bottle.
So as Alan said, this is a more premium vodka. You would pay a lot more for this if you're out in like a nightclub, something like that. But this whole bottle in China you can get for £6. Back in the UK, it's going to cost you 3 times as much, £18 for the same bottle. And what I find most surprising about this is there isn't really a massive drinking culture here in China. People kind of drink beers or their local brewed baijiu. These are kind of more Western drinks, I would say. And every single bottle here is 2 or 3 times less expensive than what you would get back in the UK. It is absolutely crazy.
And another one here, Johnny Walker Red Label, blended Scotch Whisky. This comes out of our own country. Distilled, blended and bottled in Scotland. In China, it's going to cost you a tenner. In the UK, it's going to cost you £19.
What is the competition between China and Britain? I don't think China competes with Britain on any level of materiality.
We are being absolutely scammed. These are our own products. These came out of our country, where we grew up. This is about 3-4 kilometres from our house. So you could technically say that that is our neighbour.
That one's close.
And it's actually a bit more of a fairer price. £1.95 on the shelf in China, so just under £20. And it's 22 in Asda.
Oh wait, it's on special. It was 30.
Wow.
It was £30.
And then you can get a couple of other minis, look, £2.50. £2.50. Bit of an eye-opener, Shannon, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think the government are trying to look after us Scots. We're all pretty much alcoholics at heart, so maybe it's to look after our own health. Maybe we would all be drinking every day if we could pick up a little half bottle for £2.50.
Now, this is actually quite funny because standing in front of these wines, this actually looks like we could be standing in Asda. These are all very, very popular household wines. Let's just pick up one. I recognise this. Yellowtail Shiraz, £4.35 on the shelf in China. And that's going to cost you $8.50 for the same bottle in Asda. So again, double the price for the same bottle of wine.
Where does that one come from?
Chile.
Chile.
All the way from Chile, and we pay double what they pay here in China.
Well, this is Asahi imported beer. We've got 12 cans, which is going to cost you £7.50, and in the UK they only do a box of 10 and it's going to cost you £15, so more expensive and not as much product. Awful.
Now obviously Asahi is an imported beer. Asahi comes from Japan, so you're going to pay import taxes on that in China and also in the UK. But let's look at a local domestic beer here in China, and this is one which you will find in the UK. Many pubs, particularly Wetherspoons, sell this. Qingdao, Tsingtao, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. Now you can get 6 big bottles in here for £3. So you're paying 50 pence per bottle for a bottle that size.
Is Britain a competitor? No.
We are being scammed rotten in the UK.
Well, a popular beer in China and pretty much all over Asia is Budweiser. No idea why. I think it is the worst beer in the world. So here we have a box of 10 cans, which is going to set you back £6 here in China, and for the same box of beers back in the UK it's going to cost you a tenner, which is alright, but I'll tell you one thing, that'll be the price in England. In Scotland it'll probably be about £15 or £16. We have more tax than England and Scotland for alcohol.
We have this thing called minimum alcohol pricing, so they've got to charge per unit of alcohol. I think it's 50 pence per unit. It might have changed. That was what it was when we were in school, so I'm sure by the last 10 years it's flew up out of control. And also another thing in Scotland that's completely illegal is any promotions on alcohol. Now that means happy hour in any pub, illegal, completely banned. We are not allowed any promotions in supermarkets such as buy one get one free. All these things, they don't want to encourage anyone in Scotland to drink alcohol.
It's shite being Scottish! With the law, it's to the law!
But that's the way it is, and that's the situation that we've got to live with. But enough of the alcohol. let's go and see some more food.
We have finally found something that is about the same price. Coffee. So this is 200 grams of Nescafe. It is £6.50 in China, and in Asda in the UK it's going to be £6.70, so only 20 pence of a difference. Well, this is an aisle that would certainly not work in the UK. We have snacks, biscuits, sweets, that you can just come and do a sort of pick and mix, and then you weigh them and get the price. If we had this in the UK, there would be a lot of people stealing and it would just not work. But you've got some local like Chinese snacks. I don't even know what any of these are. We've got like jellies, a little juice. There's lots of individual chocolates over here. I don't know if you would maybe like fill these up for a little birthday treat or something like that. We also have a chicken wing, if that takes your fancy. Some sausage, some more strange looking things. Oh, there's also a drumstick, that would take your fancy. And then we've got like, is this beef jerky? No, grilled pork fillets. So yeah, you get some weird things in China that I do not want to try, but that is the local delicacies here. This is the type of snacks that they enjoy. Pickled veg. What have we got here? Looks like cured meat, all in a vacuum sealed packet. Not for me.
Now there's nothing to compare around this area, but let's just show you what Chinese snacks look like. These are, I think, pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. You'll see these all over the pavement and everywhere in China. People love snacking on these. What's Shannon found?
That's a pound.
That's a pound?
That's a pound. Pea wasabi flavour. That must be a good
Christ.
couple of 100 grams in that.
You would literally pay in the UK probably double that for a tiny bag that size.
Wow.
Wasabi peas are sometimes a bit intense. You know, you shove too much in your mouth and you feel like your head's about to blast off your neck. And these are more what Chinese sweets look like. Things like this. A lot like dried fruit, dried mango. And their sweets and snacks are just a total different ballgame to the stuff that we eat. In fact, we've never actually tried any of these things. It doesn't really jump out or jump off the shelf and make me want to try any of it. Me and Shannon kind of avoid sugary foods and sweet things like that. Not our game at all. But just in case you were interested to see what the Chinese snacks look like, we've got lots of beef jerky. Beef jerky is popular in China. Absolutely love beef jerky.
Neck.
This little bag of duck neck.
Don't know if that's to be cooked or
That looks like something you would find in the military. Some like survival food.
dried fish. This shop would be an absolute nightmare if you were just coming in here for a few bits and bobs. We're now up the stairs. There's toiletries and fresh produce. How bizarre. But let's show you the price of toothpaste. So let's start off with Colgate, which is also used in the UK. What one will we pick? 250 grams of toothpaste. So this one will cost you about £1.70 in China, and for the same one in the UK.
This is a bit of a disaster. Now, this is 250 mils. You will not get toothpaste the size of that. I think that would do a full family for a year. That's like a massive tank of toothpaste. You can only get it half the size in the UK. Shannon, what did you say the price was? 170? Wow. Let me just show you the price of this for half the size. £5.98. So for the same quantity of toothpaste, you're going to pay just under £12. 120 RMB, whereas here it's 16.50. That's an absolute disaster for the UK. If you are a Chinese person who wants to come to the UK to study, stay where you are while we are on toothpaste. Me and Shannon bought one of these toothpastes. Which one was it? I think it was this one. And I have got to say, it's the most disgusting thing I have ever tasted. I think it's blackcurrant flavour. It is utterly rotten. Now, something that every guy should be using is a razor. This is a Gillette Mach 3. It's not the top brand of the Gillette razor blades, but it is the only one that we can find that is the same package. This one here in China is going to cost you £12. In the UK, it's £17, so what's that, a five or more? It's not the worst jump, but yeah, still a massive price increase for what is literally the identical product.
Well, this is a brand that's became pretty popular. This is a face wash, and this will cost you just over £7 here in China. It's just under 250 mils. And for the same product in the UK, take a guess, it is double the price.
This is getting a wee bit boring, isn't it? Right, let's try and find a product that the UK can claw something back. It's got to be one thing that's going to be better priced.
A chicken box for £2.
Shut up. That's £2.
Yeah. Hash browns. Korean chicken. Oh my god, I think we should eat something. Oh, this as well. Fresh buns. Oh wow, look at this. Is this chicken? Duck.
Chicken.
There's little, oh, you can get a little chow mein with a fried egg on top.
£1.
For £1.
£1, look at that.
It's absolutely roasting hot as well.
Freshly made. Protein, carbs for £1. Now something that has a massive markup in the UK is pre-cut fruit. Look at this, so you can get a trio, pineapple, watermelon, and I think that's cantaloupe melon, £2. Now that's still really expensive. Just outside Walmart there was a guy selling fresh watermelons for £1 each, an entire watermelon. So you're paying double here and you're getting like what, a tiny bit of melon. So it's similar to the UK, there's a massive markup on chopped fruit.
Finally, we are at the fresh produce. We've got chicken, meat, seafood, and one thing in Asia is all the meat and fish is very, very fresh. They don't have to get it in packets, they literally come here. Everything's on ice and you just select what you want. It works out much cheaper, better quality, healthier for you. A lot of the packets of chickens that we get in the UK, they'll say they're from like Brazil or just countries that are so far away. And I actually went off meat for quite a while when we were back home. It was just very fatty, terrible quality, and you really do notice the difference, especially here in China. Like, look at this, freshly cut here by the butcher. I don't know how we would work out the prices, but what have we got here? This is like a pork chop. Don't know how many grams it is, but it's like £2. There's 2 drumsticks here, £1.50. A massive chicken breast, which is £1. So yeah, much cheaper than the UK. I think I saw something online the other day that a kilogram of mince in Asda now costs you £9. £9! If you're a big family, that could only feed you for one day. It's absolutely shocking. Here's one thing that might be a bit more expensive in China, a pepper. So this single pepper on its own is going to cost you 70p, which is alright. In the UK you can get like a pack of 3 for about £1.70.
Now another thing in the West which has just spiralled out of control cost wise because someone decided that is eggs. These eggs, you get 12 eggs for £1.40. Still not the cheapest, in all fairness. That's not that cheap for eggs. Now in Asda that's going to cost you nearly £3. Which is absolutely ridiculous. Over the last 3-4 years, eggs have just got ridiculously expensive and nobody can explain why, but that is just because someone's decided that they can charge X, Y and Z for anything they want and we will still pay it. That's the only reason why things go massively up in price, because someone decided it. If they charged a lot lower for eggs 5 years ago, then they can charge the same today. There is no reason why inflation has just got ridiculous out of control. They're just choosing to do nothing about it and we have no choice other than to pay it.
Pasta, one of my favourite things to eat, and this is pretty much a high-end brand in the UK. You do get cheaper brands of pasta, so this is quite expensive here in China, £2.70, but again they don't really eat things like this, so it is expected. And for the same one in the UK it's actually only £1.08.
We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender!
Very impressed with that. That's pretty reasonable. There's 500 grams of spaghetti here, so that'll do you a good couple of meals.
There we go, we've won one. The Brits are back on top. But I think you kind of get the gist now, and as we're just finishing up in this Chinese supermarket, let's show you one or two of the cool Chinese things that you might have seen on the internet but you cannot get in the UK. This shelf right here is absolute heaven for me and Shannon. Look at all these like Chinese condiments.
£1. I mean, you can actually buy these things in, wow, it's very, very loud. You can buy some of these things back in the UK. We have some Chinese communities, Chinese supermarkets, but obviously because they're imported, they are very expensive. Myself and Alan actually bought, where is it here? The iconic chili dip when we were back home the last time. I think we paid about £4.50 for this.
So.
£1 here, obviously. But yeah, an amazing shelf. I wish we could take all of this home.
I know, look, there's all these beautiful pastes, grill-in style chili sauce.
Pickled veg.
Oh.
That's the garlic trip. You get this in Thailand as well. Absolutely love that.
Now, take a guess. Do you think China has won, or do you think the UK has won? I think there's a pretty safe bet.
伟大的中国共产党万岁!
As a news flash, if you are on your way to the UK, the weather's terrible and it's very expensive, but you will love it.
Of course, we're making all these comparisons and linking it back to the UK, where wages are different, housing costs are different, people's lifestyles are different. So I've googled what the average salary is here in the Guangdong province. Google has told me that non-private enterprise employees in the Guangdong province earn around 131,000 yuan a year, which is about 19,000 US dollars. So that's actually higher than I thought, but we don't know. There's a lot of people in China, obviously, so I don't know how accurate these comparisons are.
Yeah, the population of this province is, I'm going to take a wild guess, it's about 70 million. So, of course, when you're saying average, there's going to be a lot higher and a hell of a lot lower because there's so many people here, so it's kind of hard to judge it, but goes back to the point, many of these things are the exact same product, and many of them, of course, will be made here domestically in China with Chinese products, but many of them aren't. As you'll have seen with the alcohol probably all comes out of the same place. The wine, you can't make wine everywhere in the world, so why does that have to cost double for us? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that is the world that we live in.